Superintendent Reports.
Okay, yes ma'am, thank you. On your table with the green cover sheet, there is a draft of a proposed calendar. We've been working with Allegheny to possibly consider an after Labor Day start. And what's on the green paper is what the committee worked on last week with Allegheny. The one below it is the one that was approved on January the 13th. What I'd like you all to do is just take a look at this evening, and then when we do our closeout meeting, hopefully we will know more about schools reopening, and I can give you some more direction on what it could look like for us. We do anticipate something from the governor this week, maybe even tomorrow afternoon, about what schools might look like in the fall. And I think there are some things that need to wait until we hear what the governor is going to say. Which part of it is this calendar. Now, the Allegheny calendar committee that did come and meet with our group did say that they're looking at the after Labor Day start as a possibility. I think it might go to their board next week for approval. But we have been going back and forth. Mr. Spangler also needs to be aware of this because it does impact JRTC. We need to be closely on the same kind of calendar. He has seen part of this, but has not seen it all. I hope to share this with him in the morning. He's also approved a calendar tentatively based upon the two calendars that have been approved, but this green calendar is a good possibility, but it's draft only. It's not been approved by either board. So I wanted to share that with you folks and bring this back with you, please, if you can do that next time. And I'd just like to give you, if you have no questions about this calendar, an update about graduation. And I've got a little packet for each of you about some of the things that are going to happen with graduation. On the top, on the nice colored cardstock picture, is what we sent invitations to every senior, and I hope the mail they've arrived. The next document is a letter that I sent to every Covington High School graduate, and it's also posted on our website. The next document has the times and 15-minute increments of the students who are graduating at the Jackson River Sports Complex on it's Friday, June the 12th and Saturday, June the 13th. The June 12th time starts at 1 and goes to about 9 o'clock. The June 13th, the Saturday, starts a little bit earlier and finishes around 3 o'clock. This way, it gives every family an opportunity to come and watch their child graduate across the stage. With the new rules, we are allowing as many family members that want to come and watch their individual student graduate. So we feel real positive about that. Mr. Dressler and Mr. Cantrell have been working closely with making sure we have enough help to assist with parking, getting the kids in and out for their 15 minutes so the next family's not impacted. And so the students and their family know about the times. Also in your packet is some information about a one-page ad that we plan to take out in the newspaper that we are going to celebrate those seniors. It's the last two documents. It will announce who all those young people are, the valedictorian and salutatorian, which has not been made public yet, but will be made public this week through a press release. But that's going to be an ad that the school division is going to put in the newspaper. We hope to make it nice with flowers and banners and all kinds of celebrations for the family, to make it as special as it can be in light of the pandemic and all that's happened to the class of 2020. I feel real positive about the event. The weather looks good. The weather looks real good at the moment. Not too hot, but just perfect maybe for a day. And the setting is just gorgeous. You know, it's just a beautiful place for a graduation. If you cannot have one like you would typically have one. So The only thing that I need help with this evening is the video. My camera is full. I have camera issues, and so can someone do the video, and we will get it to Mr. Cantrell to post, and we do the big video. So can one of you technology people use your phone and do the video that I'd like you all to make, congratulating the class of 2020? And
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, all right, at the conclusion of the meeting. And, I have no story, so I'm sorry. It's my life. So anyway, okay, so any questions about graduation?
So is it just going to be the principal? Who's going to be in attendance?
The principal, Mr. Spangler, myself, and if any of you board members would like to participate on the stage, it's a long day. It's a long day, and then Miss Dooley and Miss Zeke will be there to assist. Let me see who else might be there. Some of the teachers might come. They want to see some of their students graduate, so they know the times. But on the stage, I've asked City Council to do a similar video, so it won't be a lot on the stage. But if you all are interested in coming and want to be a part, I forgot to ask Mr. Cantrell, I'm assuming we will wear the robe that we typically wear, but if you all would like to participate, we're not putting chairs out, we're not putting chairs down, we're just going to stand on the stage and have the students walk across. Lisa Akers will be there to take pictures as they typically do. Miss Carabess is doing the video, to put together a video for all of the students to see everybody together. And once that's done, we'll post it on our website as well. So that's who's going. It's going to be a very socially distanced and very appropriate, I hope, very meaningful ceremony for our graduates of 2020.
Okay. Thank you for the hard work putting it together.
It's been, Mr. Cantrell and Mr. Dressler and his staff have been wonderful, and I think they're meeting Thursday morning at 10 o'clock to go over the sound system down there, looking at the way that the students will walk in and walk out, how we secure our equipment, how we do our parking. I think we'll have a school resource officer or a police officer there to help, and Miss Jefferson, and a lot of folks will be down there helping during the day. So we hope it's wonderful, is what we hope. But thank you.
It will be.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it'll be
It will.
positive. It will be positive.
Okay.
So the next thing is the VHSL updates, and there really are none until the governor makes his announcement, but I do understand there's a big June 25th VHSL meeting, and there's been some speculation on sports pages about what fall sports will or will not, but we really don't have any official guidance yet. So anyway, don't have any idea about fall sports. We'll do whatever they allow us to do for the students. And as soon as we have information, we will share it with you. So COVID-19 updates. I have a big packet for all of you under blue paper with some COVID-19 updates in it. And if I could just go through what's in those documents. There's a document talking about the Prom 2020 under this blue. Someone asked last week about or last time we met about the prom. The date is July 18th that they're proposing. There's some information from Ms. McCoy about how she's been meeting with the police and the Department of Recreation to plan this, but she's not sure, like everyone else, that a prom can take place, but wants it to, and has set that tentative date of July 18th. So that's Prom. Streaming 3 videos. Our staff has been wonderfully working behind the scenes to prepare some videos. Miss Tammy Looney, an early childhood special ed teacher who's using this new Streaming 3 pre-K curriculum, has recorded and uploaded some family videos so that families can go look on the library's website and find out some ways to work with their children, their young children. I have not I didn't know they were ready. I have not viewed them yet, but you can view them at the Allegheny Regional Library website. And then some elementary teachers also have been to the library, the next document, and they are called Learn a Lot in a Little sessions, and some of our Edgemont primary teachers have recorded some videos that are posted on the library website. Allison Burton, Amanda Burns, and Shannon Holloway recorded reading lessons. Christy Arrington and Molly Nicely recorded some math lessons. And I also understand that these have been sent to the Library of Virginia and Richmond, and were given our small community some kudos, and they were some very good comments came back that we had done some quality videos, and I hope we can do some more. So that's some of behind the scene things that have been happening. Of course, we have a wonderful regional library and a person who's really committed to early literacy and the best for children. So she's been a wonderful partner for us. The next thing in your COVID-19 package is the school survey on school opening. And the CEA approached me about doing a survey, and I've reviewed it, and I gave permission for all of our employees to take this survey. It will give us some information about how our staff feels about coming back to school. Not just the CEA members, but every Covington employee. I asked them to consider taking it. It's not mandatory. But the UniServe people in Roanoke are going to compile our results so we know how our staff feels about coming back to school. I did meet with the CEA week before last. Ms. Zeke is now the incoming president of the CEA. Mr. Hannah's still working as he transitions to retirement. He came. Heather Alville was one of the officers, and she was present, and we had some conversation about this and some concerns. And then Mr. Dressler, Steve Dressler, wasn't able to attend. So I've already had one meeting with the CEA locally about opening up schools. But this, I hope this will give us some information. The other document in your packet is the considerations for schools when they do reopen. And I may have given this to you before. This is what the CDC says schools must do when they reopen schools, like social distancing and taking health screenings, things like this. We'll get more information. It's also the Virginia Department of Health will follow some of these same guidelines. It's a lot of work that will have to be done to prepare for what needs to be done. I did share this document with City Council so they would know that there's a lot that we're going to have to do when schools reopen as far as sanitation and cleaning and all those things. I wanted them to see that as well. And the one thing that's not in your packet is that the CARES Act allocations were revised. And we're getting about $6,000 less than originally thought because the state failed to take into account something they had to put aside, and I'm not sure what that reason that happened, but I think was it 209 at first, Rebecca, and now this came out on May 29th, and I think we're down now to 203,000. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Did I give you one? Sorry. Okay. So the yes, we're down. No, we're down to 206. So about $3,000 less. But the other piece of this whole CARES Act is that we have to share these dollars with local private schools. So it's something called private school set aside, and it's been a part of many of the title grants for years, but we have to, I actually met with the Rivermont principal today to talk about the money that they might get, but there is a funding mechanism, and they are allowed to get some of these local dollars out of our funding. Allegheny has also, I think, met with them and talked to them about giving them some extra dollars. I'm not sure about the Autism Center yet. I have to figure that out. I just want you to be aware of that. And because of COVID-19, the annual VSBA school board meeting, I put a flyer on your table, has been made virtual. There will be no Williamsburg conference this year. It will be all done virtually, November 18th to the 20th. And the president and the executive director have sent out an email that just came out today announcing this will be a virtual conference this coming school year. Any questions about all of that? That's just a little bit of COVID-19. There's more that I could share, but that was what I thought was the most pertinent.
Would this be the appropriate time to talk about the one-on-one initiative?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the other thing I talked to Melinda about.
And that's CARES as well. Yeah,
and it has to do with the CARES Act. I think it's very prudent that we work quickly and efficiently to develop a plan in which all of our students get a device to take home. We don't know what's coming down with the COVID-19 situation and whether there will be a relapse, whatever. Resurgence.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that although the high school did an excellent job, that since we have pretty much the devices at school anyway, it would be more efficient, more prudent if each child had their own device, no one else touched it, even when they come back to school. So that device would be their device and nobody else would be putting their fingers on it, sneezing and coughing over it or whatever. So I talked to Melinda about that. So I feel like we have some work to do there, and I'd like to see Dr. Furman come up with a plan to get grants, whatever we have to do in order to make sure this happens. And to do a better job, although I thought it was an excellent job, but I think we need to continue to reach out and help our parents with the hot spots and make sure that the students understand they're available so that parents don't have to go and send their children somewhere else or have to go to the library, parking lot, or whatever, because that was a wonderful gift that many families were afforded. So I'd like to see us broaden that. But you know, it's no secret that I work in the county, and I do feel like that it was very effective for my students to have their Chromebook and be able to talk to them about what they were doing on their Chromebook. And it wasn't just assignments, you guys, it was the personal interaction with those students. So one of the things that we learned over the weeks during COVID-19, we started out trying to have Zoom meetings. Well, you can do Google meetings right from your Google Classroom. And that is something we didn't even know until we got into this situation. So I'd like to see us explore those opportunities for our students here in Covington, and to make sure that our middle school through high school at least are prepared for snow days, outbreaks, whatever it is. Because I do think, if you haven't heard this scuttlebutt going around, but I do think the state is looking at no more snow days. That you will continue instruction on snow days from home. And we can't do that if our children do not have their devices. It makes it much harder. And you know, as Bert and I both have agreed about the whole paper thing, can you imagine how much paper we're going to have to use for our students to prepare packets for snow days and for situations like what we've been thrown into with COVID-19? So that is something I think we really need to consider for the future. Thank you.
So I'll just give you a little update on that. So we have talked as an administrative team about trying to get one-on-one initiative, at least for grades 3 to 12, to get started. We think we probably have most of that covered, but not all of it. So we have had that conversation. And Dr. Furman's been looking at pricing, and you have to buy things like insurance and in case somebody breaks one, and filtering systems so students don't go to websites they shouldn't go. So we've been exploring all those things. And 2 weeks ago, we had a staff meeting here, and all the principals were present. And there's something, we've used Virtual Virginia at the high school for a number of years for different areas. There's now a Virtual Virginia outreach program that is free, and our teachers are in training right now. We have staff members from all of our schools taking this Virtual Virginia outreach training. They provide it free. It's on a learning management system called Canvas, and our staff is currently learning how to do that. So when we do have to do, as Ms. Jones mentioned, we will be ready for that. The high school feels very confident with the Edgenuity platform that they use when schools close down, but they also have some staff members doing this Canvas and Virtual Virginia outreach, because a teacher can take what she knows she needs to teach and do her own upload in this Virtual Virginia outreach. And Ms. Courtney Crawford, a third grade teacher, can do what she's doing in the classroom from this. So we're working, and I will have Dr. Furman come and explain what we're doing and all those things, and get her to develop, I'll let you all know about our plan for doing. And I also share that with City Council, that's what we hope to use most of our CARES money for. I hope that can help us get through some of the more technology that we need, but we're kind of holding off on CARES money to see what we really need. So we're working on all those things. The upcoming title grants, there will be some title grants that have to be submitted by July 1 that we're working on to get you all the information. Title 1 grant has to be done, the Title 2 Part A grant, Title 4, Title 5. So we'll have all of those for you all to approve at the closeout meeting. They've just kind of been on the back burner since the pandemic. And the last thing is board policies. I think all of you got this booklet over the last week with your packet. We will have a listing of those board policies, and some of them go into effect July 1, and we have to approve those to have them to be ready for the July 1 effective date. So that will be brought back to you all as well. So a lot of information, but I hope it was